Show you guys how to sublimate this amazing quilt. This quilt is designed for sublimation. It is 9 panels and they are 16 by 9. We're going to use our Sawgrass SG-1000 today with the 11 by 17 paper. So let's go ahead and jump on over to Sawgrass Creative Studio so I can show you how I designed it. Jumping into Sawgrass Creative Studio, we're going to go ahead and start with our design canvas. So all you simply want to do is click on Design Canvas, and then I'm going to type in 11 because I'm working with 11 by 17. So you can choose either a landscape or a portrait depending on, your design. So I'm going to go ahead and choose portrait first. And then the next thing I want to do is head on over to galleries. So we want to go ahead and upload our very own images. When it comes to Sawgrass Creative Studio, what's amazing about them is you can actually upload multiple images at one time, and they upload fairly quickly. Now, I am using Chrome with my Apple. If you guys are very curious, it works a lot faster than Safari. All right, so next up, you guys are going to see the process. You can actually rename these if you want to. You're going to go ahead and hit save, and that blue bar will quickly, show the progress of those as they are added. But like I said, once again, I love being able to add multiple designs at one time. All right, so once we have our images, we're going to go ahead and click on one. So let's go ahead and start with this one right up here. So in order to size this out, you have a couple different options. You can grab these little corners up here at the top and scale it out, or you can actually come down here on the right side and hit this little scale right or left to bring that out. Once you're happy with it, you're just simply going to hit print, and then you're going to choose those proper settings. So I've got my SG-1000. I'm going to use my bypass US tabloid. That's your 11 by 17. And then you can go ahead and change copies if you want to, or you can do that inside of Print Manager. I'm going to change it to polyester. I already have mirror checked. I've got my True Pix Classic, and I'm going to change it to Vivid. Next, we're going to hit print, and it's going to take us straight over to our Sawgrass Print Manager. From here, you can go ahead and double check your settings. If you ever notice this warning down here, just simply go to your layout and change it to preserve. What it is Print Manager is trying to change it. You guys can see that that's an 11 by 17. Everything is absolutely perfect. Once again, you could double check all of your settings, make sure that your layout's good, your jobs. If your printer's ready to go, you're going to see that nice green button up at the top. So I'm just double checking everything. I've got Vivid changed, so you can go ahead and still change those right here inside of Print Manager. Once you're done, you're going to hit print and send it straight to your printer. Now I want to go ahead and show you changing this to landscape. I'm going to go ahead and do another picture here. I want to go ahead and show you how you can adjust a photo. So say, for example, I tried to size this one out, and I scaled it all the way out, and this is as far as it's letting me go. What can you do next? At this point, you can come over here to the crop feature, and you can actually start with this right away. Just click on crop, and then you're going to select. So you can just select the photo if you want to. I'm actually going to go ahead and select it. And then once you select it, if you decide, okay, actually I want a little bit more, you can grab these arrows here, and you can do top, bottom, side to side until you guys are absolutely happy with that. So I'm going to go ahead and hit cropped, and then immediately it's going to go ahead and size that down for us. Now it's zoomed in because I have scale all the way up. You're just going to scale it back a little bit. And now you guys can see I have that absolutely perfect. So I'm going to get this right about where I want it to go, and then I would go ahead and print it out. Now let me show you guys, if you want to customize your very own using the backgrounds, I've got it back on portrait here. I'm going to come into some of their backgrounds, and I'm going to choose this one right here. Now also feel free, you can actually change the colors of these backgrounds if you want to, lots of different things. I've just selected everything, sized it out. I'm going to unselect, and now I'm ready to add my own text. I'm going to come right over here to text, and I'm going to choose Creative Studio. You could definitely upload your own fonts. I'm going to quickly go through here. There is tons of fonts to choose from. I'm going to go to page 3, and I'm going to actually go over, I think it was page 4 or 5, and I'm actually going to choose a font, 2 different fonts, one for the names and then one for the cute little quote. So I'm going to choose this one right here, and I'm going to go ahead and type out my first one. So it's going to be Maddie and then the and symbol. Now I want to show you guys, if you decide to, you can definitely type everything out at once, or you can actually type it out and then add multiple pieces. I'll show you. All right, so I've typed out Maddie. I've sized it out a little bit. I've got my and sign, and I actually need to go back here and add a space in between here. Now, if I try to go ahead and add the, next one, which is Ashley in here, you guys are going to see that really big space in there. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take away Ashley. I'm going to get this right about where I want it to be. I'll come back over here and just click on that same font again, and then I'll start to type out Ashley. So that way I could get this right where I want it to be. I'll size this back out again, get it to the size I want it, and then I'll kind of bring this up about where I want it. Now, what's really cool is we have these grid lines right up here for us. You can click on these, and this can help you adjust this to get it nice and centered. So I'm just using those grids to figure out about where I want that to go, and then you can turn those back off. Now, for my quote here, I'm going to go ahead and go look for a different font. So I just came back up to Text, Creative Studio. I could have stayed in there and went back to the numbers, but I don't know. I was playing around. So I've clicked on number 2 here, and I think I'm going to go ahead and choose this one right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and just start to quickly type out my little quote here. So I just picked a cute little quote that they had on their Instagram, and then I have it nice and centered, and then I'm going to size this out once again. So I'm just going to go ahead and take these corners here. You could also take that scale, you see where it says size, and we could definitely adjust that as needed as well. So I'm just going to keep on going until I'm pretty much happy. Once again, I could come back in with that grid and really adjust everything to have it nice and perfect. So that grid really does come in handy. So I'm going to go ahead and scooch this down just a little bit, and then once I'm happy with it, I'm going to go ahead and add an outline. So this is going to help, break it up from that background. So you're just simply going to, see where it says stroke right here, go to outline color, and then you can adjust this. So I'm going to bring it all the way up to the white because I just want to have, just basically want to break up that background so you guys can really see that font pop off. So change it to white, then you can take this stroke and go right to left to really start to add a little bit of border all the way around. You could add as little or as much as you want to. Now, once again, you can see I need to bring that up to the white. You could do any color that you wanted to as well. Lots of different effects too. You can go down to the effect feature and definitely change the way that you want this outline to look as well. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this up. I'm going to do our last one right here. So just, like I said, making sure that it's different from the background. Next up, I'm going to show you can actually save these. So I've just went to the Save tab, named it, and then I added it to my Designs folder and hit Save. Now that we have designed everything out right inside of Sawgrass Creative Studio, you guys seen how easy it was to upload multiple images at one time, resize them. We also use some of their fun backgrounds as well as some of their fonts. So when it comes to Sawgrass Creative Studio, as you guys can see, they have a ton of free font to choose from, but you could also feel free to upload your own. So you guys can see how I quickly took a background that was right there inside of Sawgrass Creative Studio and then made it my very own by adding in that font. So here's our pages. So what we have here is our 9-panel blanket as well as all of our 9 prints. So this blanket right here was designed for sublimation. So this right here you can get at most of your dealers. So if you guys purchase your sublimation blanks online, most of your dealers will have this. So this is a 9-panel. Try to scoot back here so hopefully you guys can see. So this is a 9-panel blanket. They are 16 by 9, these spots right here. So you really need your bigger heat presses when it comes to this. So I believe this is the 16 by 20. Now, feel free to attempt to press this in multiple presses. You just want to be aware there is a risk of, shifting or anything like that. So definitely be careful and mindful. If you were going to press this multiple times, I would highly recommend using maybe a Cricut Easy Press, the bigger one. You could probably press it 2 different times and get away with that. So if you guys have a Cricut Easy Press, you don't have a big heat press, I do believe that you guys would be able to accomplish this same thing with your Cricut Easy Press. Now, if you guys want to see me create one of these with the Cricut Easy Press, leave a comment down below and I'll definitely do so. So we've got our bigger heat press. I've got it set at 390 for 45 minutes. And then, like I said, I have printed these out. You guys can see how awesome Sawgrass prints out all of these photos from black and white to color. And then keep in mind, once we press these, they're going to become a whole lot more vibrant. You guys can see all of that saturation from that color of these photos here. So they're just do a really nice job. Now, I do recommend before you guys print big prints like this, definitely go through really quick and do a nozzle check. So that way, if you guys need to do a print head clean, you can do that before you waste any ink and paper. So I just quickly do that, and if I need to, I'll clean those inks. By the magic of the internet, I was able to already pre-press this for you guys so that way we can save a little bit of time, because you're basically going to be rinse and repeat whenever it comes to these panels. So I've just left one slot open right down here at the bottom to show you guys how to press it. Super easy to make. Now, before I got started on this blanket, what I did was I went ahead and loaded it. So this one right here, for example, has a pull out. So I loaded each area and I pre-pressed to pull out any sort of moisture before I even got started. So I did that all the way across the blanket, as well as went over it with a lint roller. So definitely don't skip those steps. Pull out the moisture still and go over it with a lint roller. So now keep in mind, these are, like I said, 16 by 9. So I used 11 by 17 paper. So it was absolutely perfect for these prints right here. So what you can actually do, if you guys have the Sawgrass SG500, you can still print out on the 8.5 by 11, and you can just do multiple photos. So you can actually break these panels up and do multiple prints if you wanted to. So feel free to do whatever you want with these blankets. Also, you definitely don't have to do something like this in the center. You could definitely do another photo if you wanted to. So these would be great for Mother's Day. Christmas is coming up, so they'll be perfect. You could do a couple. This right here is for a best friend. So my daughter and her best friend are super cute besties. They're definitely Instagram worthy. Now, if you guys are Sawgrass fans, you're probably thinking, well, why didn't I make one for Jimmy and Vic? Because they are super best friends. Well, because I didn't have enough photos before we got started. So I'm sorry, Vic. I'm sorry, Jimmy. Maybe next time. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to go ahead and give a few tips before you guys get started. So mine has a pull out on it, but if you guys have a swing away, you'll still have area underneath to tuck it. I highly recommend when you start pressing these, you're going to notice this is going to want to slide right off. I highly recommend, so say for example, this is the beginning of my panels, I would actually load my entire blanket in the back and I would start like this. Because you don't want to distort these panels, you want to keep them nice and straight. So then I would be ready to go and I would load my photo, and then when it comes time to move on to the next, which this is the one we're going to work on today, I would scoot it over. Don't worry about these fringes. They were designed so they stay super flat. You don't need a pressing pillow or anything like that. Now, as you guys notice too, I've got a Teflon under here, but I don't have any parchment or blowout paper because I don't have any area that it's going to bleed through. So I'm only concerned about the top. So here's our photo, our very last one. We're going to load it. So what you're going to do is you're going to line it up. What's really cool about these blankets is the black border. This is going to allow you to get edge to edge design because basically you can sublimate on this black, but you're not going to be able to see it. So it's just going to make it super crisp. All right, so let's go ahead and get ready. Once again, I want to make sure there's no distorting going on with this. I want to make sure I have enough room for my platen on the top and the bottom. It's not too far down, too far up. I'm going to line this up, just making sure my design here, I did full page bleeds. Next, I'm going to grab my tape and my parchment paper. I'm going to scoop my parchment paper right here for a second. So I want to go ahead and put down 2 pieces of tape. You could do top or bottom, whatever you can access at the time, just to help hold this still so we don't get any ghosting. And then I'm going to put down my parchment paper. I want to make sure, you guys see I've already got ink over here from Sublimation, and on this side I want to protect my platen. So I'm making sure that everything is covered as well as my sublimation paper. So right here, my blanket's going to be able to be tucked under. Same thing, like I said, if you have a swing away, it should just tuck right under. Obviously, if you guys are using a Cricut Easy Press, lay it on the table and kind of scoot it around as needed. So you guys notice when I'm working this way, I'm not having any hanging. I'm not trying to fight to keep it up on my press. Everything is staying in place. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to work my blanket here. I may have to scoot it out of the way as we bring this up. And then I'm just going to scoot this all the way up, and then we're bringing down that press. So mine's an auto. It's going to squeeze itself down there, which obviously if you're pressed too, you're going to be able to knock that down, and then mine will auto open. No worries. I've showed you guys before. Sometimes you want to hold down that paper. As long as you've taped it down with this one, if it auto opens, you're going to be okay. So we're going to go ahead and let this press once again, 390 for 45 seconds. If you guys have a blanket that is polyester, you can also sublimate that. You want to stick with those lighter colors. So say, for example, the photo I'm doing right now has white on her pants, a little bit of that background, and you're going to see that white come through because these are white panels. So if you guys want to do that, stick with those lighter colors. You could get a white polyester blanket. All right, so this is going to pop open. One thing you also want to make sure you're doing is make sure you have your photo in the correct direction. This whole time I've been heart pounding, hoping that I did it. Okay, we're ready for the final reveal, and we're just going to get our paper here and peel back. I'm going to get this off here so you guys can see how nice this is. And look at those sawgrass colors. So you guys can see how nice. So once again, that black border right here is going to allow you to get that super crisp edge. You guys can see right up here on this one, I got off a little bit with my paper. It probably scooted a little bit too far up. So that's what can happen right there. So make sure you do full page bleeds. Line those up nice and perfect on here, tape them down, and you're going to be good to go. But I also want to point out really quickly, in case you guys see any little bugs flying around me, I have an infestation in the studio right now of these ladybugs, but they're not ladybugs. I believe they're Asian bugs. You guys correct me if I'm wrong, but the studio is loaded. I mean, not crazy, but probably over 100, especially over here on my curtain area. And so I see them zipping around on me, but they're little ladybugs, but they're not so nice. They do bite. But so let's go ahead and look at this one more time. Look at those bright, vibrant colors. You guys can see, even with that saturation, how nice those came out and how true to that picture. Like, for example, look at this one. And these were taken on the cell phone. So the only one I do believe that was professionally taken was this one right here. Everything else was done on the cell phone. You guys see how easy it is to crop areas down and size these up as you need. So I'm going to scoot back really quick so you guys can see the full view here. But these are absolutely amazing, and I highly recommend that you check them out. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.